All right, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're gonna watch The Adam Project because it just went live on Netflix. Hey, at least we're not on the East Coast because they have to wait till 3.
Gosh.
Here we go. It was pretty solid.
I liked it.
Netflix is actually starting to make decent movies. Imagine that. And it is 3 in the morning, so we're gonna go to bed now. All right. The Adam Project. I liked this movie a lot more than I thought I would. I honestly went into it with low expectations because Netflix has a bit of a reputation of making some, subpar films. And even Ryan Reynolds is not safe from that because we've gotten films like 6 Underground and say what you want about Red Notice, but I just don't care for it. But this movie had a lot of heart. I honestly had some feeling when I watched this movie. Now, one thing I want to say about Ryan Reynolds in this movie is that we definitely get some range from him. I feel like this movie definitely had that typical Ryan Reynolds personality, but there was definitely a little bit more heart to his character. There was definitely moments where I felt like he was having genuine connections with these characters, and it wasn't just that normal back and forth witty dialogue. And speaking of witty dialogue, I thought the banter between him and his younger self, Walker Scobell, I believe is the name of the young actor who plays young Ryan Reynolds in this movie, or young Adam, I should say. Absolutely phenomenal for his first role. This is basically his acting debut. And because of this movie, I'm actually looking forward to seeing him in other stuff. What really surprised me about young Adam was the fact that he's not just straight up trying to be Ryan Reynolds, but I genuinely felt like young Adam and older Adam were two different characters, or at least, the same character at two different points in his life, and they both learned stuff from each other. Also, Mark Ruffalo, for having such a small part in this film, it honestly looked like he was having fun, and him and Ryan Reynolds looked like they were having fun as well. I thought Jennifer Gardner's little part as the mom was very sweet. I do wish Zoe Saldana had a little bit more dialogue in this movie, but I feel like she did the best she could with the small amount of time she has on screen. And honestly, the weakest character in this movie is probably Catherine Keeners. I think that's her name. But honestly, she's just playing this one-note villain character. And unfortunately, instead of just casting somebody as a younger version of her, they decided to go the de-aging route. And I don't know if that's because Netflix spent so much damn money on The Irishman, and it just does not work. It honestly took me out of the film whenever she was on screen as the younger de-aged version of herself, and every time there was a close-up of her de-aged self on screen, I literally winced. I was like, ugh, every time, man. It just is not there yet. They need to take notes from Disney because that new version of Luke Skywalker we got in Boba Fett was much better, and it's definitely starting to get there, but the de-aging effects they used in this one, I would have preferred if they kept it out of there or at least hit it better. And there is a couple things towards the end that definitely feel like plot holes or they just don't make sense, and I do feel like this movie is worth watching, so I'm not gonna spoil anything. And those are small gripes. That's me nitpicking. I liked the music in this movie, but it definitely feels like the music in this movie was a bit of an afterthought. Anytime I hear that song, Let My Love Open the Door, I just immediately think of Mr. Deeds, and honestly that kind of took from the movie a little bit, but I can't blame him. I think Sean Levi, or Levy, however you say his name, is a great director, and I think him and Ryan Reynolds work really well together, and apparently they're going to be making Deadpool 3 together, so I'm very excited to see what they do with that, and I think he's a great choice. But overall, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought, and they were able to take a concept that we've seen time and time again and have a different spin on it. And I spent most of my time watching this movie with a big old smile on my face. And while it is not a masterpiece of a film, I definitely think it shows that Netflix is finally starting to take some good steps in the right direction towards making movies that don't just feel like straight to streaming movies. Now that we've gotten Don't Look Up, The Adam Project, and of course movies like The Power of the Dog, I'm definitely starting to have more faith in Netflix, and I'm excited to see what other movies Netflix has in store for us. And when it comes to the score for this movie, I am going to give The Adam Project a solid, respectable 7 out of 10. Definitely watch this movie, guys. It's definitely a feel-good, fun time, and I think that it's good for the whole family. And so let me know down in the comments, what do you think about The Adam Project? Would you be interested in seeing a sequel to it? Because I honestly hope they just leave it alone and leave it as a one-off, but you know how it is when it comes to Netflix and other studios. They're gonna try and milk anything that has any positive reception. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this review, so if you made it this far in the video, be sure to comment the word partner. If I go through the comments and I see that you commented the word partner, I know you watched the whole video and you're a real one. And also guys, stay tuned very soon for my review on the Pixar film Turning Red that just hit Disney Plus as well. I'll probably watch that either today or tomorrow with my family. But as always, thanks for watching, stay safe, be nice to each other out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!